Dear friends and comrades, that's another fantastic interview for Wbrew Cenzurze, Without Censorship, independent internet channel. And our today's guest is David Folch, General Secretary of the Solidaritat Catalana per la Independència. Welcome, David.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to explain myself.
The world remembers about the small historical nations struggling for the independence, like Catalans and Scots, during elections, during big events. But we, of course, we all know that these cases are living all the time. After 12th of May, after results of the elections to the Regional Assembly of Catalonia has been announced, big slogans in the news announced that it's the end of the dreams, that it's the end of the pro-independence movement, that it's the great failure. Well, in fact, results are maybe not as dramatic because, as I observed for the Carles Puigdemont Together for Catalonia, it is even we increase. For the Republican left of Catalonia, that's, well, more than 1/3 seats lost, and for the Popular Unity candidacy, it's even more. It's about a half MPs less than before. In your opinion, was it really the failure of the pro-independence movement in general, the failure of the Catalanian pro-independence movement, or it was the effect of the errors of the leaders?
Oh, it's a very difficult question to answer quickly, but I will try my best. First of all, yes, the results of the past elections are not good in general for independentism, but we like to think about on another point of view. In our worst moment, that is now, in our worst moment, we retain a 40% in favor of independence, a 40% in favor of independence, when we have faced repression, when we have faced disappointment, when we have faced tiredness, and so on. So this is perhaps, you never know what will happen in the future, but it is perhaps our worst moment from 2017, and we retain this 40% on this regional poll. I want to stress that in this specific case, we always say that it is not the same a regional poll that a referendum. So the Spanish state and the Spanish parties, they always have been saying that a result in the regional poll doesn't imply anything about the independence. And when we have the majority of seats on the parliament, and when we had the majority of votes. And now that you have lost these both majorities, they say that, oh, the independence movement is dead. It's not true. And the initial analysis that most of the independentists, of the strong independentists make, is that a lot of independentists has not gone to vote. It is simple. They have gone directly to the abstention, because the same leaders that failed to guide us to independence are the same leaders that are presenting now in these elections. And we think that we can analyze that, and people have said, I cannot vote for the Spanish parties. I cannot vote for these specific leaders, so I stay at home. And this is our previous analysis of this situation.
I can imagine, living in Scotland, I can observe that sometimes it's even worse for the pro-independence case when it's too strongly related to the one party. Because people try to evaluate this party politics, yes, and could be very critical for any other elements of this party strategy other than independence. Yeah? So that's the point. You proposed, your Catalan Solidarity proposed in February 2024 to give back people of Catalonia right to vote. So despite of the political divisions, party divisions, this was an initiative of the popular voting. I know that mainstream parties have been skeptical about this initiative, although they, well, had to support it in some moments. But why do you think, is it the better way than the party and parliamentary one to achieve the independence?
No, of course it's not a better way. And there is a saying in English that if the life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. So we are out of the parliament right now. So we cannot start initiatives that depends on the presence of the parliament. So we, in this case, we did what we could, and with several objectives in mind. But one of them is to try to break this sadness, this disappointment, this tiredness of the people that they are always fighting each other parties, fighting each other, and they are not fighting for the independence. So we tried with this. It was a kind of public presentation. It was a kind of a start, a breakpoint, a turning point, and that with this initiative. It's better to present this law. We presented this law in 2011. We presented the same exact law in 2011, and it was not approved, unfortunately. And we presented now to see that there are some movement beyond the usual parties. No, you have said before that it is a bad strategy to identify the independence with a single party. In case of Catalonia, there are several parties involved in this case, but there is a strategy of the states, of the Spanish state in this case, to link, always to link, and a broad movement, always to link to some leaders, always to link that to some parties, and then focus the destroy on that parties, and is what is happening now. They are destroying the movement by focusing in our leaders that fail, focusing in cases before of corruption, focusing now perhaps in links with Russia, and focusing and with everything that has at hand. If you can insist in the narrative of the independence movement as pertaining to a single party, a single leader, or the bourgeois, or the so on, then it's more easy for you to destroy. And we tried with this popular initiative also to show everybody that there is life beyond these usual parties. There is life, and there is nothing has stopped now. Nothing is really dead. We are 40% right now in the worst moment. So let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I believe that it's another initiative is strongly related to this point of view, because before the election you proposed the citizens list to going to the elections with the stronger base on grassroots movement, and to going beyond these party leaders and their party interests. Again, parties preferred own interests, mainstream parties, of course.
Yes. I want to point out something very important. We didn't promote this citizen lists. It is an idea. It is a project of a different organization, a non-governmental organization that is Assemblea Nacional de Catalunya. That in terms of expansion in the territory, in terms of professionalism, and in terms of party of group members, they are outstanding. They are professionals. They have the capacity to go in the parliament, obtain some seats in the parliament. When we heard about this project, we simply thought we can go against this project, and we are making a bad decision, or we can support from the outside this project, and we simply, when this project appears, we'll give our full support. Unfortunately, this project failed because, let me say it roughly, but all the machinery or the engineering of the parties work in the middle of the pole to support this project. So everything worked fine for the traditional parties to to disallow this project, to cut the head of this project right from the beginning. And then it was all over for us, because we have not prepared anything, because we were confident that this project from another organization will engage favorably.
Now I would like to return to the situation in the National Assembly. Well, situation started to be more dynamic than it was for the last 3 weeks. Louis Lack has been elected as a president of the assembly. I don't know if you ever heard that in the 80s and then in the 90s, Lestaka was the most popular political song in Poland. In Poland, yeah, because we had it translated as "The Walls" by the Polish Solidarity movement singer Jacek Kaczmarski, and it was extremely popular in Poland. But well, so we of course we know Louis Lack, of course, and his story of his life. But now we can hear that the voices that his election is a kind of the game again, more played by Carles Puigdemont and party interest of the Together for Catalonia. Do you suppose, do you agree with that it's some kind of trick of the how it was sometimes called in Spanish media, Vichy regime of Carles Puigdemont, or is just the natural way of things going?
First of all, I want to express my profound respect for Louis Lack and for his singer career, and for his also political and social career. I should be very meticulous in this case. I don't want to make an offense to anybody. The decisions has been a proper decision of the assembly voters, but I think that there are two kind of souls in the Assemblea Nacional Catalunya. The one soul that we were more comfortable is that identifies as one of the problems for the independence the actual party system. There is the soul that failed, that lose the recent poll to make the citizen list. And there is the traditional soul of the Assemblea Nacional de Catalunya that its main objectives are the mobilization, are the accompaniment, are the struggle on the streets, always democratically and pacifically, but with the hand or taking hands with the traditional independentist parties. In the past, it worked well. One thing that we cannot do is to feel ashamed of what we have done until 2017. All the demonstration, all the acts, all the struggle, all the ideas, everything was done correctly. It is one of the ways to do the independence. People on the streets, pacifically, everywhere, every time, talking about independence, unity, everybody goes on. Everything worked well, despite the aim of the leaders of the traditional independentist party. Everything working well until the 1st of October, or let me say it, until the 10th of October, when this proclamation of the independence fell down. No? So it is not a bad idea that the Assemblea turns back to focus on the popular mobilization and leaves aside this political turn that took 3 months away. But now we are in a different stage of the situation. So this kind of return to the past, Louis Lack have said that he recommends to vote Junts per Catalunya publicly in an interview. So come on, you are expressing yourself that you will not bite the independentist party hands. You will not bite them. So, and perhaps one of the conclusions of all of these last years is that they failed us. I don't know. I don't want to judge personally why they failed us, why, if there was a lot of fear or a lot of pressure from Europe or so on, were they at the last moment what millions of people in the 3rd of October were at the street, why they didn't declare them independence? It will remain on the mystery, or someone will talk later. No, but they failed. They failed with independence, and now with the orientation that seems to try to give Lluís Llach, he tries to return to this past. I don't know if it will work. I want to, of course, I am member also of the National Assembly of Catalonia. I will give him, of course, 100 days or the usual one. I don't want to criticize right from the beginning. Let's see what happens. But if he wants to go unity, there is one concept. Sorry if it is a long answer. No, there is this concept of unity that they always, the traditional party always are pronouncing unity. We have to maintain the unity. We have to go to the unity. The unity is very important, but it's also important also for what is unity. If the unity is not for the independence, it has no political sense. So I am afraid that Lluís Llach will be a president of this kind of turning back, and I think it will not work, but is a decision of the members of the assembly. I fully respect.
Yeah, well, two issues altogether: past and present, and the future. Because as we know, amnesty law has passed to all these people terrorized by the Spanish government and the Spanish Guardia after the 2017 referendum and all the pro-independence action. That was one of the conditions of the politics of the Junts and ERC in the Spanish parliament. So, well, do you think that now they are free to go, free from these commitments? It can be changed something in this Spanish level of politics, and as well to the on the Catalonian one, or that would be the instrument, for example, the tool. How Madrid again tried to influence the Junts and ERC also in Catalonia. So, for example, could it be a tool for getting the support for the socialist government in Barcelona? What do you think?
See, okay. Very tough one. The amnesty is a very tough question, because there are people that are suffering now the pressure of the judiciary power of Spain, and I don't want anything of that for anybody. It's a constant pressure. It's an arbitrary pressure with a single objective to spread the fear. The fear works perfectly well when a state use that to crash some movement. We have seen that in Hong Kong. We have seen that in every dictatorship that you want. The fear works perfectly well, and now this is the fear, this repression. It has to be somewhat arbitrary. It has to go not only to the leaders, but also to the common people that have made something banal. But perhaps yesterday it was known that a person that pushed away some other person of his stature and his strength and so on, in a demonstration, it is sentenced to 3 years in jail with no allegations and nowhere. It's an arbitrary decision. It's made to make fear, and so the amnesty in this case should be. It is necessary. What happens with the amnesty? What happens? Of course, I want the amnesty for all the independentists. The main problem that is the price that you pay for this amnesty. It is all of that. It is as simple as that. The price that you pay for this amnesty. And I think that it is clear now for everybody that could make a rational thinking of the situation. It is clear that both Esquerra Republicana, ERC, and both Junts per Catalunya have renounced, have forgotten the unilaterality. So they are now proposing that, okay, we are independentists, but we will not make a unilateral declaration of independence. we will negotiate a new referendum, whatever it is done and in which conditions, and nobody knows, and nobody really, in the independentist movement, nobody cares. That is the situation, no? What are you talking about? We made a referendum in 2017. It was, by standards, a good and acceptable referendum with a very clear result. And beyond that, the actuation of the Spanish police forces, the 7,000 police that come here only to prohibit the referendum, only to beat up the people, older, younger, and so on, only for introducing a paper in a poll box, not destroying private or public property, only for to impede this action. So only for this reason, we deserve, we must struggle for the independence, besides the result of the referendum. Okay, so you are changing, you are agreeing this amnesty in exchange. Obviously there has to be an exchange. Pedro Sanchez and the Spanish states, they are not silly. Something that we must avoid at all costs is thinking that the Spanish government or Spanish state are silly. They are ruling over us the last 3 centuries. They are not silly. They have power, they have strength, they have the military, the judiciary. So if they have exchanged this amnesty, is for something else, and this something else is simply the unilaterality. And the unilaterality it's all it's all, because if you say, no, I will do the independence no matter the cost, it's one thing. No, I will do the independence accordingly with the state and by a referendum and whatever, whenever they are pleased to do this referendum. So the price is the issue in this case, and we don't agree with this price, and despite the suffering. So we accept the amnesty, obviously. So let's go with the amnesty. We will see if it is applied or not, and in which cases. This is another issue that will last months or years, how it is applied, the amnesty, or if it is applied at all. But we are not agreeing with the price paid, so it not obliges us to follow this payment of this price. We are for the independence in the unilateral form. So okay, there is an amnesty. I don't care who approved this amnesty, and I don't feel obliged to the agreements of the Junts and IRC with the Pedro Sanchez government. It's your problem. Let's see what happens.
I can fully confirm, because I was in 2017 in Barcelona, so I observed that referendum was absolutely properly organized, and it was, according to any international laws, absolutely in line. So it's absolutely, that was the expression of the true will of the Catalonian people. I also observed this repressions and oppression inducted by the Madrid regime. So I think that it's too rarely reminded to the audience that it was not only the few leaders who have been oppressed and judged by the Madrid, but it was hundreds of people, the ordinary people, taking a part in this protest, just in the referendum election. So that was true violence from the side of the Madrid regime and the police forces. It was absolutely obvious against the hundreds of people, not only the few leaders who just fled to Brussels. But when I described this situation of the Catalonian movement then in 2017, of course it was a lot of sympathy in the world because of what the people seen on the TV screens. But some, especially my leftist friends, asked me, okay, but you are in favor of the Catalonian pro-independence movement, but this one is more, bourgeois strength. It's more center-right oriented. It's not like the typical national leftist parties, pro-independence parties in other unrecognized countries and states. So, well, be careful, because it's just, you know, a few rich people from Barcelona would like to, you know, have own business. And I said, no, that's the popular movement, and I saw that. I've seen that it's popular movement of ordinary people, of also workers, shop owners, anyone, just anyone, students, and people living there. But what's your observation from the inside? Is, in fact, Catalonian pro-independence movement more center-right, more bourgeoisie, or is just more differentiated? It's a lot of trends within the pro-independence movement in Catalonia.
Okay, good question. It's part of the narrative of the Spanish state and everybody that doesn't agree with independence to try to link this movement with the bourgeois. It comes from an historical fact, and some of the historical fact, because it is related with all the past immigrations in Catalonia, that a lot of people of Spain come here to work, and of course they were of Spanish origin, and the Catalans, the original Catalans, let me say like this, all of them were Catalanist and so on, and there was this kind of identification with nationalism with the rich, and Spanism with the poor or with the workers and so on. And it goes far until perhaps 1917 and so on, with or the first 19s, with Alejandro Lerroux, that he coined the name of Lerrouxism or Lerrouxism, for anybody that wants to look at this at the Wikipedia, that it was the same in the first years of the 20th century, that the Spanish workers, and then the fight against the Catalan bourgeois. And this image of the Catalan greedy, rich bourgeois, and the poor Spanish worker, this image has been, of course, transmitted, narrated, and promoted from the Spanish side. No, if you look at the polls, if you look at the self-identification of the people, Catalonia itself, when there are polls of the social position, it is in the majority on the left. Our party, it's we name this party, we classify this party always as a transversal party, as a broad party. But when we have made some polls, our ideology and so on, we tend to the left. So I think that this correctly balanced between left and right. But because the last of the 40 last years of so-called democracy, some of the last 20 or 25 years, the right government party, the party that has the majority of the Generality, was from the center-right with Jordi Pujol, and it was identified the nationalism with this right. We are, I think, correctly balanced between left and right. Until now, we didn't have a true far-right party. Unfortunately, now we have a far independentist. Well, they say they are independentists, but they only focus on immigration, and independentism left aside and look for that. No, but we cannot escape also the general trends of Europe. In Europe, there is a general trend promoting this far-right. We don't know which is the origin of the trend. It's something that there are very explanations, but this is the general trend. Of course, it's present in all the countries. And finally, we have failed to that also, and we have a far-right independentist party, but we have also a far-left independentist party, and these two center-left, two center-right. This is a narrative, the identification of the independentist movement with the bourgeois, with the strong nationalists, from the years of Jordi Pujol, from the first years of the democracy. We always have said that anybody is Catalan if works and lives in Catalonia, and wants to be Catalan. It doesn't matter the origins. It doesn't matter the origin of your father, of your parents, of your family. It doesn't matter the language that you speak, but you have to respect, obviously, the Catalan language and love the traditions of Catalonia. It doesn't matter the skin color, anything that. Until now, there is this far-right party that now introduces this. But for the vast majority of the Independentist Party, we have not looked at the origins of the people, because half the population of Catalonia is from Spanish origin, perhaps, and there are a lot of them that are independentists and sons and daughters of workers and so on. It's part of the narrative to destroy and to stain this movement.
Yeah, and I can confirm that, as I can see, this, apart from this Aliança Cat new initiative, Catalan pro-independence movement is very inclusive. So that's absolutely true. But yeah, in this point, also observing these new political initiatives, there are some international effects of the Catalonian struggle, some implications, important implications, not only for the Catalan people, but for the European and even wider environment. I, for example, read some opinion that in present situation, when changing situation in Catalonia, which is, well, debatable, but well, I've read something like that. So possibly Madrid now could change its politics towards Kosovo, for example. Yeah, could recognize Kosovo, which was, as was said, it was the issue somehow related to the Catalonian struggle. From the other side, when Spain recognized the Palestinian state, there was the voice in the debate in Knesset that in this moment Israel should recognize independent Catalonia or Basque country and so on. So and it was, I know that it was debated in the Catalonian media what to do with such an initiative would appear. So. But the main question is not about not about the Kosovo, not about the Israel or something like that. I would like, how could you, for example, explain why is Catalan independence important not only for Catalans?
Well, very good point. I appreciate that. I hope that my English lets me explain as accurate as possible. Some people say that the independence of Catalonia will cause such an instability of Europe that it will be a complete disaster and so on. I feel exactly the opposite. I think that this is exactly the clue of one of the I want the independence of Catalonia because of my feeling nationalism, my respect for my heritage, for my culture, and then for a better life with our resources and so on. But there is a part of me in this case, and I think of other people, that the independence of Catalonia is like the canary in the mine. No, is that we have this Pacific democratic movement in the heart of the Western Europe, the democratic Europe, and the light of the democracy and the freedom, no? And it was crushed. It was crushed with Europe. We are looking at the other side. I don't see anything, no? In the 1st of October, it was crushed without anything moving a single finger that we know by now. It's possible that there was some pressure, but and then our leaders, good or bad, facing 3 years in prison and so on, and some oppression. Well, that's it all. So I think that the independence of Catalonia is the canary in the mine, in the sense that Europe, if Europe remains as a group of nation states, oppressing each one its minorities or oppressing the national feelings of its own citizens, it will finally crush this Europe. Some say that this movement weakens Europe. I don't think that makes Europe weak is not to listen to these movements. not to give the rights to everybody. We can live our gender freely now. We can live our religion freely now. We can live more or less, no? We cannot live our own nationality now. We have an imposed nationality that is Spanish. I have never been in Spanish. My family has never been in Spanish. I will never be Spanish. So, and there is a reason. There is not a spurious reason. There is a history in Catalonia. There is an heritage, a language, a culture in Catalonia that supports that. So, if Europe recognizes these nationhoods, if Europe recognizes these rights, it will be stronger. It could face the new threats that are appearing in the East, or the new threats that are appearing in other sides of the world. But if Europe remains blind to these nations, to this reality, it will make it finally explode. United Kingdom have left Europe. Of course, it is not specifically related, but if Europe was to be something, a United Kingdom will have remained there. It left. So I think that it's very important. I think that one thing that I want to express is that the canary in the mine, if Catalan people cannot do independence in a democratic, peacefully, with majority expressed during years and so on, then what is Europe for us? What does we cannot make the Catalan official in Europe? Neither. A simple. Of course, there are economic costs. Of course, there are political costs because perhaps other people with minority languages. But that is Europe. That is a reality. So there are citizens of first class that has a state that protects its nation and its language and its culture, and there are citizens of second class that the states and also the European Union doesn't protect its culture and language. What is that? What the hell is that? Is that the problem? It's not the independentist movement that weakens Europe. It's not listening to this movement that weakens Europe. I am truly convinced of that, and it is a truly important point.
I totally agree. I believe that there would be that neither European Union nor the Europe of nations as a historical being would it never be complete without recognizing historical nations and states like Catalonia and like Scotland. So I wish you all the best, and I hope that we will see independent, free Catalonia. Thank you so much for visiting us today.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for so much. Thank you.
Dear friends and comrades, that was another fantastic interview of Wbrew Cenzurze Without Censorship internet channel with David Folch, General Secretary of the Solidaritat Catalana per Independència. And please follow us on X, follow us on Facebook, on Telegram channel, subscribe our YouTube channels. This interview would be published, of course, as like always, in Polish and in English as well. And I hope we will see soon all together. Thank you very much.